I said I had a huge car. That's really my girl, though.
Yeah. No. There's been times where they've talked about us individually without using our.
Oh, yeah, they do like guy in the black hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's
But, like,
guy in
you're
the black?
fucking, you look stupid or some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. I forget who they were talking about, but they were
You?
like, oh yeah, see, I don't even remember.
No,
Could have been.
And let me just go ahead and make sure that everything is working here. Let me do a noise test really quick.
Oh, we're streaming.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh damn. What up, everybody?
I'm not stuck like that. My tongue isn't permanently stuck outside of my mouth. It was just a joke, and we're doing the sound test. And it sounds like we can hear ourselves. The last two streams haven't been too high on the quality end.
In audio's regard.
Yeah, the last stream you probably didn't hear nothing, and that's okay.
I went back and watched some of that, and I was like, at one point, I was like, damn. I was like, neither one of you two are paying attention to shit.
I mean, but bro, if you're seeing bouncing on the thing, like you're getting input into the microphone, but you don't know that they're not hearing shit on the outside, really, you know?
Because like I'm looking at this right now, and what I see is the movement of this, but what I didn't see is that I didn't have the actual source of the Razer microphone, and what it was recognizing was the laptop mic, but the laptop mic wasn't actually active, right?
Because you had the other two board.
Yeah.
Like,
So
did that.
it was just a whole bunch of like, oh, it looks right, but that wasn't right. Thank you for joining us on Talking High Culture. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are here every Wednesday between the hours of 8 p.m. or around 8 p.m. Last week we went a little bit earlier. This week we're going on time. We got Chris, Ricky,
What up?
Logan, and myself, Marco, here to talk about cannabis. We are all about cannabis news, cannabis culture. Today we're talking about the effects of cannabis. Pretty easy topic. We have how set and setting. We have how set and setting affect your high. We all know that sometimes your high can get you a little bit into the paranoia. Sometimes it can get you a little too relaxed, sleepy time. You can fall asleep. You don't know where you are. You forget everything. Part of that has to do with what's going on around you, right?
So that's why we're here to talk about our sponsor, Adderall. That was literally how an ad read starts. Sometimes you're a little forgetful, and that's okay. And our sponsor is here to help with that.
Cut to the Adderall pill B-roll.
Literally couldn't have been more of like the start of an ad roll.
Yeah. Well, I tried, right? And when it comes to when it
I feel like I just look so much wider and massive because of the stripes.
Wear black because literally,
three of you.
I look like a king. Just like all this is cut out, and then my arms just start, and then my legs just start.
Chat, let Chris know that that's an okay shirt. That he's cool.
Real quick, chat too. Let us know how the audio is. If you can't hear us, if you can hear us, let us know because this is important to me. I need to know if you can hear us clearly. Because the last two, you can't hear nothing. So
If you can hear Ricky,
you can't hear me, you're missing out.
oh,
I nasal talk. I have a really high pitched voice because I talk through my nose.
Because he really talks through his nose like this a little bit.
Hey, when you say crayon,
Crayon.
He talks like as if he's about to start singing through his nose, like he's really emo.
Emo.
My heart is
Real quick though, before we discuss the topic of the day, boys, how do we feel about the set and setting of this room?
Yes.
Now?
Perfect.
It could use some stuff on the walls.
Okay.
It could stand some livening up.
yeah, behind us especially.
Yeah.
Behind us, especially.
That's been my only thing with like the change of the setting.
Well,
Is like just like I mean, I know background's not important, but at the same time, like I feel like having like more stuff in the background that's personalized and shit, like just makes it seem a little bit more real. Like if we each like even if we each kind of like had like a little bit of like we got to choose like, oh, we'll bring a couple like Ricky put a couple things behind you that like specific for you, you know what I mean? Even if we did something like that kind of like highlight a little bit of us too.
well, finger paint something for us and we'll put it behind us.
Let me get the brown crayon. He's like, I fingerprint every day. Fingerprint crayons, toilet paper.
All right, real quick, Marco, what's your overall vibe of the set and setting?
Me personally, I love it. Yeah, we do need some stuff behind us, though. I 100% agree with that. If you're watching this, you have anything that you want to send us, please let us know. We'll figure it out.
Chat, send it to us. We'll put this shit in the backdrop. I'll take a picture with it.
P.O. box here. It's just like 60.
That's the picture. They send us their art. We don't put their art back here. We take a picture of all of us holding like the art piece.
And we dookie on it.
I'm not gonna lie though. This little painting right here, whatever this is, I like this. This is a nice little backdrop addition. My thing about the room, although other than the lack of art being on the wall, which is not an issue, minimalistic living is in right now, is the lighting. Like I know we're potting right now, but I like more of like a warm vibe.
That could just
We're like cool blue right now.
That could just be changing the light.
I like sepia.
Yeah, sepia vibes.
That's either a filter on the camera that we can probably do, or it's just changing the light. Or just changing like
If you guys know me, like he does, I live in a dungeon. My house is dark 24/7. So
like, you know what I mean? Like how there's some lights
I really know stuff.
that are like soft lights and they're like ultra bright shit like that.
Marco, you're just playing into his bidding.
Yeah, Marco, it's okay for now.
Damn, he really hit you with a yeah, Marco. He's like, sweet talk.
All right, Logan, being the owner of this set and setting, you give us your overall opinion of said room.
Yeah, I'm pretty. This is basically how I've always lived. I don't really ever have much, so it's basically a statement of the type of person that I am. If my girlfriend didn't set this all up her goddamn self, because I didn't set any of this stuff that you're seeing up, thank goodness for her. It wouldn't have looked like any of this. So
Lazy fuck.
So let's just all
Applause real quick, round of applause.
thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
yeah. It's not that I didn't want to set any of it up. I definitely didn't have the vision of like doing it like this, and it ended up working out for like this type of setup. So yes, thank you very much.
My man has no vision. You heard it here.
Sometimes you just need to touch.
It is what it is.
Yeah, so as far as the set and setting here, I think it's pretty.
No, it's pretty. No, it's nice though. It is. I do like being like close together and like not being so spaced out on the table. I feel like helps a little bit. You know what I mean?
And
I also like being close. I worked hard.
It puts
I
us
worked hard on putting all that stuff in the background.
It puts us at the forefront because like there is a lot of stuff behind us, and the lighting is a little bit trickier in that room.
Yeah,
But you get to look at our beautiful faces.
yeah. I feel like it's just because of like how far apart the things were, and I just didn't have the right bulbs in there.
That and like a dark, like imagine that wood as the walls, and it changes like the tone.
We probably should have just had like a backdrop, but I do like this better.
Yeah, and like lighter walls reflects light more, makes the room.
Can we turn off all the lights and from now on only use the Party Boys strobe light?
Yes. Party boys from light.
Mm-hmm.
The gold casino bowling, the bowling league light,
Gold Star
Gold Star Casino bowling league lights.
Gold Star Casino.
Yeah. Can we do that?
It just flashes and it strobes in different shades of gold.
That's amazing.
Hyphy face, everybody hyphy face, like you're listening to something fucking nasty.
Stand face. Marco's just headbanging. He's like,
People are tuning in and we're not saying anything. We're just.
if I had hair, I'd be headbanging right now, but lacking the flow.
Damn,
It's all good.
what's that shit?
I do like that Ricky started off with asking about this particular set and setting because like this vibe is gonna affect our high. The fact that we're even doing a podcast affects like how our high affects us. If you're sitting at home watching us, like your set and setting, how you're there at home is gonna affect your high as well if you're joining us right now.
Or if you're driving,
Does it have autofocus?
It seems like it is, yeah.
I would think to not have that on. Yeah, because it's like going to the night.
Well, let's just run it for a couple weeks and we'll see how it goes.
And I also think it's just because of how much how much movement is going on. Yeah.
It might just be a lag thing. Too.
Guys, start waving your arms.
So it may just be a lag in the whole.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Anyway. I didn't notice anything. Let's just keep going.
Did you have an article for science? Or are we just gonna?
No, we're just explaining like how the way that
Wing It Wednesdays.
well it's not necessarily winging it. Like this is something that I think we have enough general knowledge on to be able to just discuss. Because we all have had our own experiences where we're high in a particular situation. The fact that we are high, it's like I'm actually not feeling this vibe.
Hey guys, I know a spot.
Yeah, or yeah, our favorite smoke spots that do make us feel the best when we're high.
That brings up an important question. Getting that, being in a set setting and being high, has there ever been a time where you went to such an event and then got high beforehand to up the experience, and it actually leveled the experience and or made it worse? You didn't get to experience what you wanted to experience because you got high. Yeah. So
Yeah. So growing up over in New Jersey, there was always the whole shit called Weird New Jersey, which was like it's a big thing for the state. It's a bunch of like supposedly like supernatural sites, haunted spots, like ghost sightings, places that were closed off for like certain reasons, whether they were like bad or good. You know what I mean? Um, so there's been quite a few times where trying to go to some of these spots that are like supposedly haunted and shit. We'd all get like high as fuck, thinking like, oh yeah, this is gonna help us. We'll probably be more in tune with stuff, being a little bit high. Like, we're probably gonna be able to freak out or sense stuff more. You know what I mean? But then we all get there, and then we'd be so hyped up and like so high from shit, and then there's nothing, and it's boring. It's not even like scary going in some of these places, and like we're going dead of night to like abandoned fucking like old psychiatric places that supposedly been haunted. And I've seen pictures of like shit. You know, my mom actually has a picture because she like did the internship there before it closed down, where there was just a wheelchair in a room, and it's an old Polaroid. And she said when you walked in that room, it would get cold. So her and her friend snuck a camera in there because you weren't even allowed to bring cameras. They took a picture, and in that picture, you can see sitting in the wheelchair is like a figure of a person.
No.
Like a silhouette, like a shadow.
No, like a white silhouette. Yeah, like oh, you see it, but like they were like, yo, there's nothing there. Like so, going to places like that, like super high, thinking like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna see ghosts, and then like it brings your high down almost because you're let down if nothing actually happens or you don't feel like that creepy experience. So
You're
then
like
it's,
overhyping the.
yeah, it almost sobers you up after a point. 'Cause you're like, oh, no one, my
That's what I wanted to
time.
ask. Is like, do you feel like you almost would have had a better experience around it if you were like not high?
Yeah, actually, for some of us, I probably because I would have been like. Yeah, not high, so I would have been actually probably like on edge a little bit, like a little nervous, been like a little tense, whereas the weed just make me like, yo, let's fucking go. I see a ghost, like, okay, I'm gonna fall for the blood.
exactly. An important note is, were you pretty experienced and beat it at that point, or was it like it wasn't your first times getting high? It wasn't your
No,
first.
no, by the time I started doing that shit, I was well into my
Exactly.
drug journey.
Yeah. So,
Not
your comment on like, okay, I think there would be a difference if that's a variable right there. I think somebody going out and smoking before that randomly, like, hey, let's go to the graveyards, and they're like, what? I just smoked for the first time. I'm high as shit. Like, oh my god. Then it might end up being a fucking scary experience,
Yeah.
and it might not dull it at all. It might fucking heighten it for sure. But if you're like, yeah, and, I can see it dulling when you're into smoking weed, where you're just like,
Yeah, or if you've been like used to doing other shit, like you're used to getting fucked up and handling yourself.
yeah, like at this point, as adults, if we were to go there and we were to smoke weed, like it really wouldn't do much. It's just like we're normal. And
I got we
Exactly. In a bunch of cemeteries.
well, it wouldn't change the scariness.
All right, we got a new short idea. We're gonna go smoke in the cemetery.
I mean, fucking.
At like we gotta go at the witching hour.
I'm dude.
between the hours of
Yeah, no, like Logan says, unless you're like a new smoker when weed's still kind of like psychedelic, then yeah, you're not gonna get freaked out.
that's where my experience was where I guess it wasn't like a new smoker. I was already smoking at that time. But I think I've said it here on the podcast before. So the time I was where I felt like it it worsened my experience was when I went to go watch Interstellar.
No,
My movie experience. Yeah, movie
I
experience.
saw that, but it was a great experience.
So, but the reason why is because I had eaten a pop brownie. No, not pop brownie. It was a cookie. I had eaten a cookie, and it hit me about 3/4 of the way into the movie is when it started.
Damn.
So at that end,
You
Yeah.
can cry.
Yeah. So like I was feeling a regular high by then that was like super strong. And I was like, okay, but I was dealing with it, and it was actually what made it whole experience worse is at the end of the movie I was still fucking ripped, right? And I have to get myself up out of
Trying
the
to process everything
still
still.
trying to process everything, myself up out of the seat, walk my
Was it
ass.
at the beginning
Yeah,
of your weed experiences?
yeah, closer towards the beginning.
So you were like edible is something surreal, bro.
It's psychedelic.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you're
Yeah.
tripping 100%.
Yeah.
I had to walk to me and Melina had to walk to the Carl's Jr. that was over there by the movie theater.
Yeah, it was here.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about CJ's. Hey, if you're interested, you know about CJ. Chat right now.
CJ after the movies, and not even the food there could bring me back to life. Like it was just so disgusting to me, and I was just eating just to eat at that point. Like, so that was the time where
So bad
the
experience.
yeah, I feel like the set and setting of that in particular, the whole hyper visualization of the movie at that point kind of just triggered stuff in my brain. And then I was just so ramped up that I had to actually move. I was way too high to move.
Did it trigger anxiety?
Yeah, I felt like people were watching me. They could tell how fucking slouched I was. I was hung over like Melina's shoulder like this, like I was putting.
They probably looked at you because they thought you were drunk.
Yeah, they probably thought I was drunk, if anything.
So I have two situations I'll go over real quick.
Are they both bad or is like one bad, one good?
Now they're both underwhelming in
Okay.
a sense.
I what is the underwhelming?
One time, like that was about
What's the good ones?
one time he knows what I'm talking about. Spit it out real quick. One time we went skating, and this is when we were still like new to skating. So going skating in Sacramento was like a big deal to us. We were like super hyped on it and shit. Well, we didn't have. I don't know if we had weed at the time, but we decided to dab in my car before we started skating. And this never happened to me before, but something happened that day. I think it was like the anxiety of skating and the dabs. But yeah, took a couple dabs, got to the skate park, couldn't skate.
Damn.
Sat down.
If you were functional.
And no, and the thing too was is like I was still a new skateboarder and I was like learning. So like the anxiety of like people being there who were really good kind of like fucked with me too. So I was fucking really high, anxious, and then the anxiety about skating off like kind of settled at the same time. So I was like, shut down.
See, I had that. That was when like I took one of my first trips, like when I skipped school to fucking take the train to New York to be like, oh, we're gonna go to fucking New York to skate, and we'd find some like the spots and see people that were like, and then we're just fucking sitting there like, oh wait, like we should be skating. Like, you know, like these people are good.
You like that for a long time until like I finally got the confidence. It was like, yeah, I can hang now. Like I can definitely fucking hang.
You wouldn't skateboard to snowboard?
I'll
Call out sick? What the fuck? Yeah. Oh, fuck
hold
my,
you to that.
fuck my job. I'll
Alright.
say right here. I would call out
Hey.
if I have a good enough reason to go hang with the
Maybe
go hang with bros.
maybe next weekend, dog.
Next weekend.
I can't go. But okay, anyway, the other one real quick, was a movie experience, and it was recently. I got really fucking high before I went and saw Long Legs, and cause like how the trailer had me, because this is how it was. Is whoever decided on the trailer and the cuts they were going to use for the trailer is a genius because the trailer got my ass. The trailer. Dude, this is gonna be like a mind-bending psychological thriller.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I've
mind-
actually been curious about that.
So I got loaded before I went in there, and I sat there by myself, watched the entire movie. Underwhelming as fuck, bro. It was just like, damn, that's it. Like, literally in my head afterwards, I was like, damn, that's it. Got up and like walked out of there disappointed as fuck. But one, it's because the movie was shit compared to what I was thinking, and two, I don't really know if the like high did anything, but I was definitely like amping it up in my head a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's one of those situations where you expect something to play out a certain way, and when it doesn't, you're like, oh fuck.
But then now give us a review of Long Legs because we could make this like a you reviewing Long Legs and then like
Stoner movie review.
give us a review of Long Legs.
Overall, Long Legs on the scale of psychological thriller and like, oh my god, 5 out of 10. It's interesting, but it's kind of nerfed.
It doesn't live up to the potential.
It doesn't live up to the potential that the trailer has, and I like broke down the trailer, and I realized that they use every major jump scare or like major plot point of the movie in the trailer. So of course you're gonna because usually when you see a trailer, you're like, there's other shit going on. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
See, that's how I felt earlier today when So I saw that they released a new Final Destination trailer. They're coming out with another Final Destination.
Final Destination 60.
Yeah, it's called like Bloodlines or something. And honestly,
kids.
I didn't. Yeah, but it has the original, like like in the trailer, like
Final Destination
it gives you all the shit. So like it tells you, oh yeah, tracing it back to through all the other Final Destination movies. Like all these movies are linked. Like there's people that have knowledge about it. It has like an OG movie cast member.
Okay,
But like it gives you like the first. I feel like it spoils like literally the entire first death of the movie. Like you get to see it. I'm like, yeah, maybe only one, and like they show a few other scenes. But the fact you're going to spoil the intro even of the movie like that, and they gave away the entire plot instead of just like kind of cutting it down. So I'm like, all right, so you gave us the whole premise of the movie in the trailer. You ruined like the first like good death of the whole fucking movie. You know what I mean? And like, so what is there really left for me to see? Like, I might want to see it, but I'm not going to pay to see it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the trailers nowadays that they release for majority movies, so it's like doesn't make me want to pay to watch them. Where I'm just like, all right, everything's going to come out streaming soon for free. I'll just wait because it's rare when a movie makes me feel like I want, like spending my money is deserved.
an SNL skit that is a play off of Final Destination, but it's Final Shin, and then it's always a play on like you think like a death's about to happen, but then you're like it's just like something stupid and mundane or whatever, and they're like Final Indignation or something like that.
Education.
Yeah, exactly. Final Indignation coming this summer. You're like, oh my god, the wire's blowing after him, and then it's like
He just learns math.
something like that. Like that'd be so fun, dude.
My
Like you're certain they're gonna die, and then it's something stupid, something retarded happens.
My thing with like movies is when you've seen real quality gems like Silence of the Lambs, like The Shining,
Tropic Thunder,
like
Gladiator.
yeah, like She's the Man,
White Chicks,
Finding
Nemo.
Yeah. But yeah, like when you've seen Silence of the Lambs and you've seen a real psychological like crime thriller that you're like, oh my,
That entire Hannibal Lecter series,
the
Red
whole-
Dragon,
all that shit. When you watch that shit for the first time, how it makes you feel, you're hoping and comparing shit to be like those experiences when you first watch those movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, a lot of the times it's not. And Long Legs was one of those movies that had persuaded me to think that it was going to be like fucking Silence of the Lambs shit. And so, yeah, I went in there expecting a lot, which is my fault because I've learned as an adult, you never expect because you always get let down. Yeah. You just go into the experience with no expectations and you just take it as it is. And then you're like, yeah, it was good.
Under promise, over deliver.
Exactly.
Especially with that promise.
Especially with the crime psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
Bro, if it looks insane, guaranteed you're about to get let down. There's a 1% chance. I'm not gonna lie about the water.
There is
only get let down if you
bro. Hey, this is exactly why
it makes you set your expectations.
Yeah, I never look forward to fucking anything anymore, and I always forget about things that are about to happen in the future because then I'm not like anxiously fucking just like 2 weeks, 1 week.
As a victim of somebody who's been in their own state of mind, subconsciously underwhelmed from experiences, it's because before I'm hyping it up in my head to be fucking insane. And then I go there and I'm like, it wasn't insane.
Exactly.
It was cool.
Yeah.
But if I just had went in there and been like, yeah, whatever happens, I'd be like, yeah, that was hella fucking cool, bro. Yeah. But you like hype shit up in your head and then, it's just...
Bro, me and Ricky were thinking that we were going to go, what up, Celeste? We're smoking on... Can Pop right now, some swag.
That Can Pop
green
candy.
Again, this is actually a slugger broken down. Actually,
yeah. So this slugger pre-roll is called Rosé, right? And it's a hybrid, and it tastes like red velvet cupcakes. So it's supposed to have kind of a cakiness to it.
Me and Ricky went into
I played rose.
the first fucking snowboard day, and we were like, "Yo, what if we're just like really good at snowboarding?" And then
I got ego checked real
yeah,
fast.
ego check so fast. We're like
Real
rolling
fast.
down the hill, bro, eating shit the entire
Real
time.
fast.
But within that day, we were already going down the accelerator.
Yeah, we figured it out within half the day.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's not,
at
that's
least
not,
right.
that was my first time ever going down the mountain. Was that day?
Welcome to Tahoe.
Because otherwise, I only ever went down like small little hills and shit like that back home when it did snow. Like I never went out to the
Yeah,
mountains.
got the wheels up.
But within that same thing, like halfway through the day, like not even like I was zoomed down accelerator, even with my fucking shit not even actually tight like it should have been. My bindings were loose as fuck all day.
Everybody says, "Oh, I skate down hills. I fucking ride down mountains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I fly down mountains.
Yeah.
I ride down mountains.
I hit that fucking Millennium Falcon just
I hit the jumps.
So I'm certain that I could ride down the mountains this year. I just can't go through the parks or anything. So I could I'm
No
pretty sure-
impact.
Yeah,
Zero impact.
Yeah, I'm just like riding and
You
cruising.
can't even flat ground front one.
Yeah. But I think I could ride for sure.
So, has there ever been a time where you guys were snowboarding out there and where you were so fucking ripped, right, that you couldn't board?
I've been drunk as fuck out there.
Yeah, drunk would be more.
tell me how though I lost the fucking pen.
Oh,
So when we went, I lost the pen. Don't know how or where.
You dropped it out of your pocket or some shit.
Yeah, but then what? We got off the lift and I fell or some shit. And next thing I know, and like we both checked. Like he saw me like and check on my pockets like before we went down the mountain and everything. Like
Yeah.
I'm just nowhere in my backpack. I fall or see it somewhere off the mountain, and like literally, I'm just like I look at Logan. I'm like, yo, I fucking found this shit.
Found it?
Yeah, I found it. It was a heavy hitter pen too.
that was
crazy.
that was a time. That's crazy. How it was only me, you, Daft, Gil, and just us.
He just.
No, I just came home. I just started working, and I was like, I can't call out my job.
Was it that? I thought you just had your. Oh no, that was before your. Yeah.
Yeah.
When in reality,
Oh no, didn't you have the one right before that?
What job
that
did
you
you
were
have?
still recovering from for a bit.
Huh?
what job did you have?
I just started working at LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
No, it wouldn't have.
You should
I should have. But no,
Still be
my
running
knee
that
was
bitch
still
anyway.
fucked up.
That's what I was gonna say. I think
Yeah,
wasn't
because
that
I
the,
came
wasn't that the
home.
reason?
I came home, and me and him and his lady went snowboarding, and my knee was still really fucked up. And I remember being like nervous, but I had a knee brace on, and I couldn't do shit.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I thought
I could just ride, and then we were like hitting a hip, and I remember that day, like my front leg was barely even bending, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, my fucking knee's fucked up." So I did go before that, but then that time in your lounge, I'll say, when we were all talking about it, and our Gil was there, I had just started working, and I remember I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to call out."
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, "Yeah, we understand," but yeah, I should have fucking called out.
You'd still be running that.
exactly why you're
I'd still be fucking doing the same
you're
shit.
planning on calling out or at least switching shifts with
Tell
someone.
me the day, and I'll see if
Friday.
My
next
first
week.
thing is gonna try to switch shifts.
Friday next week.
Friday next, so not this one, next Friday.
Next Friday.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
try to see.
Yeah. I can't snowboard until October of this year. So right before snowboarding season this year, I'll be able to ride. Let's fucking
How
go.
many months are you gonna be out of that?
10.
Oh, then yeah, you'll be able to start like jogging at 9.
Let's go.
But yeah, you gotta be. I know you're not on your shit, but it's like, bro, my shit. Like I just started being able to do extenders.
Dude, they just told me today at PT that next week they're gonna have me start they said it was anti-G jogging, but they don't have that there, which is like when you put a belt on, so it's like no G's and you just run.
So nice. It sounds
I was like, yeah, that sounds hella nice, but low jogging, and I was like elliptical, and she was like, yeah, and I was like, okay. So elliptical and started getting the bro. I haven't been able to run in so long.
Yeah.
As soon as I can sprint, I might cry, bro. Like I might be like, damn, finally I can fucking run again.
Well, that's a lot of
Well, the thing is too, it's like the thing is like I'm scared I can't run for my life. What do you want? This?
Yeah, sorry.
You just want more weed?
Yeah, to put in the bowl.
Oh, then why'd you even half a bowl?
Because I thought
You packed a bowl.
sorry, Ricky.
No, but you're good. Yeah. I want to be able to run for my life if I need to.
Run for your life in an emergency situation.
Basically.
I have a panic dream about that where whenever I start running in my dream, everything slows down.
You're Cherry Jane after this.
Everything starts slowing down whenever I try to start running in my dream, and it makes me freak out to the point where I wake myself up.
Mm-hmm. Yo,
My,
go ahead.
mine is in a dream when you're having a fucking nightmare and somebody screams or you're trying to scream as like the person having the nightmare and it's like you're not making a noise but it's like a ringing noise so it's like you're like
That's like a movie. That's
Yeah.
like movie shit.
bro happens so many times in my dreams where I'm trying to do something and all I hear is a ringing and
Yeah.
it's like terrifying.
What wakes me up is so there's one dream I remember having as a kid. For some reason, I was in some like desert or some like rocky area late at night, and there was like an elevator, and I had my sister with me, and the elevator opened, and there was two hella old people inside, and my sister Bailey, because I was a kid, and my sister was like a little kid, and they like went like this, and Bailey like walked to them, and they like I remember like Bailey like holding their hands and the door closed. And I remember being like, and that woke me up. Like the shock of being like, oh my God, they just took my sister. Like woke me up. And like the shock and like awe of dreams is like what gets me.
I've had actually a lot of dreams that had elevators in them, so that's pretty crazy.
See, I've never had anything like that. One of the wildest dreams I've probably had that like woke me up or like I felt at least recently, because I used to have like a few like dreams when I first like got clean and shit of other shit when I was younger. Like
Gnarly.
there would like be like the drug dreams where like I wake up and like I feel that sickness or like feel like that certain type of high because my brain was tricking it. But like recently there was this one I woke up in fucking tears, like freaking out because I kept dreaming I was
Your
getting
kitty was gone.
no, that would be valid. But no, for some reason there was something happening where like I was driving home from work, got stuck in traffic on the bridge, the Marysville Bridge, like coming back.
Well, don't office.
My bad,
You're good.
I forgot. But like, yeah, getting stuck off that bridge, and then all of a sudden, like these people ran up to me and like, they just got in my car, fucking, and it seemed like it was people I knew somehow, but like I didn't know at the same time.
It was us in masks.
And then they just got in the car and fucking drove me somewhere. Next thing I know, like I'm getting fucking like the shit beat out of me. I'm getting like tied up and
Is that it? Is that it?
tortured. Like I'm getting like
Is that it?
like stabbed. Shit. Yeah, that's it. That's what
Stabbed?
I'm at.
Deb?
Stop home.
You're getting tortured and stabbed.
Just random like fucking spots with like knives and shit. And then like I would right when like there would be a point where someone's holding like a knife to my throat, and and they would start to cut it, and then like all of a sudden like the dream would reset. All of a sudden I'm back on the bridge, like back in traffic, and the same thing kept fucking repeating. I couldn't change anything.
Yeah, they sound.
And I went through that for a while, and then at one point I finally woke up and like was just freaking the fuck out because like I went through it like fucking like 10 times back to back.
They say hell is getting caught in a loop.
So I think the most
And like I don't really dream too.
yeah,
That's the thing. That's the first dream I've remembered in a few years.
Before you do say it, that's how it is in Lucifer from the DC comics, where
Loops or hell.
his power is
Yeah.
to loop people through hell.
Yeah.
my gnarliest dream is the most recent. One of the more recent ones that I had. I had a pretty gnarly dream that is pretty notable.
How recent? Like within the month?
Within the last 2 months, yeah. Megan was out. I think it was a Wednesday or something. So she was out with her fam. Hanging out with her fam, and you know, we just got done with the podcast, and it was probably later at night, so I was sleeping, and I had woken up, and thinking that I heard the door open, and I'm like, I have a really, whoa, what's going on?
Got a little foggy there for a second.
Exactly.
I see this.
Okay. I had woken up from her, like what I thought I heard the door. My head was super heavy, and I was like, it was impossible to lift my head up, and I remember being like, "Is that you, babe?" And then like my head falling down,
Sleep paralysis.
and and my head falling down, and then I'm like, and then I'm certain that I hear a light turn on or something, so I'm confident she's coming in the room, and she's probably gonna touch me. I wake up. I wake up, and I wake up from. I'm like, the house is pitch black. Megan is not there, and no one's made a sound. And I'm like, babe, no one's there. No one's there. I dreamt about me being asleep, waking up, essentially doing exactly what
That's
I was
crazy.
doing. Exactly, bro.
That's good.
Exactly. I woke up and right after I dreamt that, bro. I was freaked the fuck out. And even crazier, Megan opens the garage door as I'm just like laying there in bed, like being like, I'm like, I'm like sitting,
You sensed her coming home.
and then fucking you hear the garage door be like, and she's opened the garage, you're about to park in the garage. I'm like,
That's wild.
Sounds like a succubus was there.
God,
That's crazy.
dude, it was nuts, dude. I was like, my heart was beating so fast. I was like, that's never happened.
Something disguised itself as Megan.
The last time I had some out of body, like third person shit like that happen was when I was a kid.
I'm pretty sure my girl told me the other day that she had a dream that she saw me get up and go to the bathroom and like saw the light turn on and it was like, oh, okay. But then like rolled over and I was like laying next to her.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
So she like dreamt me get up and like watched me go to the bathroom and then like rolled over and like really woke up and it was like, oh no, he's ready.
But bro, that feeling of like that sleep paralysis thing where you feel heavy and you can't do something, bro, my head, it was like a black hole heavy, bro. I was like,
yeah, that's sleep paralysis.
Oh.
100%.
for sure.
There was one time when I was a kid that it kind of reminds me of that, where I had ran to the door like at 9 o'clock at night because I thought I heard my mom calling me from outside. Marco, come outside.
Yeah.
I'm out here. Come here, Marco. Come here. Right? Like,
When to go, bro?
Yes.
And I swear it was my mom's voice, right? And
Thank God.
so naturally I go run outside, right? And then right as soon as I get to the door, my dad's in the kitchen washing dishes, and he's like, "Where are you going?" Right? I'm like, "My mom, she's outside. She's calling me." Right? He's like, "Your mom's taking a nap right there." Right? And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yo, the young mind is in tune to some weird shit.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, dude.
That does remind me of
Yeah.
that shit. Bro.
It's weird as fuck. So I don't know. It probably is sleep paralysis. Like in dreams, obviously, like moving is kind of hard. But there's times where
Unless you're lucid.
when I'm like falling asleep and I'm like laying there and I need to like get up to go to the bathroom, but I won't get up to go to the bathroom for like fucking 45 minutes. I'm just like,
It's impossible.
I'm like, when am I gonna get up? And I'm just like still laying there, just like so solid and like just like I need to go to the bathroom, but I don't know when I'm gonna get up. And I'll just lay there for fucking forever. And then finally, I'm like, get up, get up, get up, get up. And I'm like, okay. And then I'll get up to go to the bathroom.
So I hate the whole running trope and like that's how I run in my dreams is so true because bro, when I need to run, I end up it's like I always end up looking down in my dreams being like and then I pick up speed because I'm like finally like I'm getting it, but it like takes forever for me to like get into like pace. Like I'm always like, dude, every time.
My panic always wakes me up before I get any kind of actual speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard this thing the other day. Yeah, I heard this thing the other day. They said that when you die in your dream, you wake up because your brain doesn't really know what it's like to die yet. So if you knew what it was like to die, you would die in your dream.
Bro, hey.
But that makes it.
I did die in my dream. I don't remember really the dream, but I remember fell into some water and I was underwater, like in some crazy rapids, like trying to make my way back up. And then I'm floating down and I'm feeling it. And I remember, bro, in the dream, feeling the feeling of relaxation and just letting go. knowing that you're gonna die.
Like it's just like
Yeah.
like, oh.
Bro, you just take it. Literally in the dream, I remember I just take it. Swear to God, you're just like, ugh. And then I woke up, bro.
See,
I woke up.
that shit was great. Just my point, like following that was going to be like for people, like anyone that has had to be like resuscitated before, like that, like flatline, even for like even a couple seconds. You know, that brings up another point. Like,
Do they know what it feels
you
like?
know,
I have this
not knowing necessarily what it feels like because every type of death could be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if just like an OD is that, like, you're not going to know what it's like to necessarily die from being stabbed or shot. But the feeling of an onset of death could
I
still
think the dying process is still the same.
could be there. So is that why like certainly like people can have that like repetitive cycle shit like that, or like have like oh that dream ends and then like it flows into another dream, like they feel like oh I died in this dream and then like it felt like it was a continuous dream, I got reincarnated next or something, you know what I mean?
When do they pronounce that you're actually dead? Is it when you're like now
Your
you're
heartbeat stops.
right? Okay, heartbeat stops.
I think it has I think
Because
it's
if your
heartbeat
heartbeat
stops like
stops, your
for
brain stops.
a certain amount of time, like if they've tried CPR, like if people
Yeah.
tried like
Okay.
CPR or any type of resuscitation or like the shock and none of that's worked, then they'll do it. But if it's like they just find a dead body, it's pretty much like
Swear to God, that is such like a like you would be surprised how common sense that probably isn't,
Real
because it kind of the puzzles, you know.
Real quick before I forget, growing up, I had a friend whose dad died, and they resuscitated him. But he was dead for 8 minutes.
damn.
They resuscitated him, and I remember hearing him talk about it. All I remember hearing him saying was all he could see was a bright white light, but he could hear people talk.
See, I think I was.
I don't even think.
So it's like looking at the sun, but you just hear voices.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I think when mine was only it was like just under like 10 seconds
Yeah.
for my shit. So like I don't really have
The
from,
one
like,
time,
like from my experience. I just remember like the feeling of my body hurting because like they ended up like having to like pump my stomach and like fucking zap me. So my body, so my body felt like everything was like my toes, every fucking like inch of me was sore just from being like the volts and like your body just being jump started.
You got shot back.
I definitely don't know what it feels like to be resuscitated, but there is one point in time where I can remember a dream where I had gotten shot in the stomach, right? And I remember going to the hospital and freaking out because like the last thing that I remember was to be like, I gotta go like get my son, I gotta go get my son, like I have to go get my son, right? Like my son's fucking waiting for me and I'm fucking dying.
I got
That's movie right there.
But it was what I do remember from my dream is that when I was in the hospital, it was like a spiral in my stomach that I felt like it was spiraling. And then the last thing that I did see was like the white light, like above me, and then from there, my panic and my heart was racing so much that that's from again, like my panic always wakes me up in the dream.
Yeah.
From that point, I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
I had a dream that I got shot in the back as a kid in a store. I was like in like a grocery store, like no, I was in a gas station, like getting snacks, and there was a robbery. And somebody came in, and I was like one of the victims. And I remember getting shot in the back, and I remember like feeling it and being like, oh, and falling forward, but like the pain. I remember it just being hot. It was just so hot that it was like hyper fixated on like one point. It was just hot, and I was like in slow motion. Was like, oh,
What was going on in real life?
Yeah.
Eat the bed, tunnel right here.
Yeah. So what happened? My dad came in and whooped me on the ass with a belt while I was sleeping, and I was like, "Oh,
Sleeping boy, get up, children to sleep in that position. Go back."
yeah, no." But I remember distinctly remembering what it felt like to get shot.
Yeah,
And that shit woke me up. Yeah, I was
That
like,
makes sense. Like a feeling of like heat sensation, like that would probably be similar to something that happens because like the friction from the bullet, like tearing through, like
From the
there would be probably a slight hot sensation.
you getting shot in the stomach and then like pulling up to Alonzo and then dying in front of Alonzo is such an origin story for his superhero.
no. You get shot in the stomach. You realize you're dying. You want to make it dramatic, so you run and find your son so you can die in front of him.
It's like, well,
You call me, and they're like,
You're just like, I know I'm not gonna make it. I need to pick me up and take me out sub right now so I can say my dying words.
Literally. I need to give him his
You're the man of the house.
It's
Yeah.
like, I have to go crazy after I
Oh gods.
gonna wish they joined this live.
That kind of level one had it. Which was wild, huh?
His father was assassinated. He was killed.
Yeah, I don't remember if I got shot at.
You just tell him it's like a whole story. You just make up a whole story to him real quick.
Don't even
Even though it might have just been some crackhead. It was like, it was a hitman from the mafia. He came to get me. Years ago, I was involved with a trade deal.
I stole all his spaghetti.
Bro, if you're gonna die, take all the money that you have, go give it to a hobo, be like, yo, act like you're gonna rob a place real quick. Go save the fucking robbery and then be a hero, but then still die a hero. You know what I mean? Because if you got shot, you might as well just die a hero. Be like, I died from a robbery, I'm gonna save a robbery before I. Because I have, within like maybe 5 hours before I'm dead from gunshot, said no one ever. I don't know.
I ain't getting shot for no.
That was one of the shots getting shot back in the day in the Wild West. That was you could kind of live from certain shots in like the midsection, but if you got a gunshot, you were going to die no matter.
Because if anything, it comes.
If it hits your organs, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Any certain, especially if it was your stomach, because then you have to worry about like your stomach acid leaking out and shit.
You're done, son.
If it hits your intestines, you're fucked.
Not necessarily, because you have miles of intestines.
They just do the bloodletting and then you're fine.
Yeah.
You're
You
fucked.
you get a little couple leeches.
They prick you on the vein right here and just drain it.
Just quick lobotomy.
Yes, exactly.
Frontal lobotomy.
Bro, I was actually learning about what was it, Da Vinci, who was the anatomy and the anatomy stuff, right?
Probably.
A
A lot of it.
Yeah, some of
So he was like super into anatomy and stuff like that. But before the people who were getting taught about anatomy, the guy who they looked up to, his name was Galen, and they didn't question the teachings up until that point. And the drawings of Galen about the human body and anatomy, fucking nuts, bro. Those shits are crazy. They look insane. And he clearly didn't care about how human bodies actually looked or worked, and the drawings depict that. Like they're weird, they're disproportionate, they don't look like humans at all. They look like fucking caricatures of how somebody would think humans like operate or whatever.
I think we got gears inside of us.
Like, yeah, somebody, like, for example, you would have an operation room and you would have a cadaver that they're cutting open, and they could pull out the intestines and be like, yes, as Galen pronounces this is the heart. And they're like, ah, yes, the heart. See, just because of what, like he said, because there wasn't a lot of questioning of stuff back then because there wasn't a lot of knowledge. So,
yeah, then
the motherfucker pronounced something that people were knowing through the decades. They're just gonna go off that.
the earliest days of like Greek medicine, right, is them like a cadaver on the table, everybody going around it, and the one guy doing exactly what he said, cutting them open and putting on his most confident face and being like, "Yep, this is what this is," and then everybody's like, "All right, I guess that's what we're calling it," right?
And Da Vinci had comprehensive because he had a medical like excuse to go and look at cadavers or like dead bodies or whatever. And his drawings for back then were super intricate because that fool was obsessed. He figured that if he knew everything about the human body and then like how reality worked, that he would be able to depict it within his like drawings and shit.
Low-key though, if you really know like the intricacies of how our bodies actually work, it is insanity.
Exactly, especially back then, because like I said, nobody knew what they were actually talking about. So you're a nut if you think like you're number one. You're the only person that's like super focused and worried about stuff like that. Like you're crazy to go be looking at dead bodies, being like, ah, yes, this muscle, interesting. This is what that does, huh? All for the sake of art.
Science.
Science.
Yeah, science. But like
Art was a byproduct of his search for science.
yeah.
And I think that's really cool because that's ultimately what it is in our efforts to better ourselves, in our efforts to just find something to provide to the rest of the world, right? We also find something that gives back to ourselves, something that gives art gives to the world in other ways and more creative types. You have intricate drawings that are you have intricate drawings and designs that are assisted by mathematical equations or just scientific knowledge that the best he could applying that. And it's really cool. It's honestly really cool shit. Maybe he was high.
I feel like the purpose of life is to find something that you're obsessed with, like that, like similar to that. Like you have to find something that you're willing to devote your time and energy and etc. towards.
So just like a level of fulfillment, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's personal fulfillment when you want to dedicate yourself to something. It's not somebody bestowing that upon you for Y reason. You know what I mean? The purpose of life is to find something that you want to pursue for yourself for your reasons.
That's very important to do that too.
I like getting high.
Like getting high. That's what we're doing, and that's what we're attempting here. Is we're trying to make what we enjoy, what we feel is something that we share all in common, something that's recreational for us, something that's medicinal for us, something that just adds value to us as a whole, as a unit, and as a community, as a culture, bringing people together, being able to discuss, talk, experiences. It's all togetherness, right? And I feel like utilizing your passion, doing what you're passionate about, you have to chase that as much as you can, and find that in the balance to where you aren't just throwing all your passion at something that's not fulfilling you.
Like your job.
Yeah. Yeah, like your job. Right. That's why we're trying to turn this into our main job. Like we got to do this until we actually get money coming back to us in such a way where this is what we can dedicate our entire time to, and then the entire production value is something that's a lot higher. We have plans to do our own grow and document that experience, and I feel like that's something that's is going to be pushing talking high culture in an elevated experience and an elevated give us elevated credibility because a couple of podcasts ago we had discussed how much harder we would have it against people who have degrees or people who have other types of credibility in the industry. So we have to quite literally create our own credibility. Say, hey, look, we've done our own growth. You can see a whole documented experience on YouTube where we are going through the process and figuring it out ourselves. Right? You can see us talking about weed and our knowledge.
that we're about it.
Yeah, you can see that we're about it. We've been here. We've been showing up since day one.
You can see that we run
Hands on.
We are realizing the potential of this plant.
If you ain't, let me know.
So thank you everybody for joining us on Talking High Culture. We really appreciate you. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe at this moment in time if you are with us. Let us know what you're smoking on. Let us know if there's anything that you would like to see from us as a YouTube channel, as a community from us. It's really important that we get feedback and
Since you're doing that part, my bad. Thanks, I can do that thing. But I've seen no, but I saw something the other day. So I saw a picture that was saying that this isn't supposed to be the heart, this little thing. It's supposed to mimic like
The anatomical heart.
like with I saw a picture and I had to so like the vents are the right here, and this is the actual like
yeah, it works because it's both.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
goated.
It works because it's both.
This is goaded in the sauce for heart symbols.
no, I still prefer the most ones to know.
This one's crazy. This one's crazy.
Even though
What about the one from Dumb and Dumber where he rips his heart out of his chest and puts it in the brown paper
In the doggy bag?
and then gives it to him?
Oh.
That was my favorite.
this one's hard.
That one's not hard.
Well,
That one's
Well,
not
hard on doing it. So
It's not hard. It's a real hard. What are you guys throwing up? Chris, what the fuck are you throwing up? There you go.
There we go. Hearts for the gang.
Leave one of these.
This
Open
one's
that.
The Illuminati. The Illuminati. Just kidding. We don't talk about that here. I'm not trying to get doxxed and canceled and thrown into a deep.
Summoning Jay-Z. Summoning Jay-Z.
I'm trying to summon Beyonce.
Jay-Z's about to walk through the corner right now.
Jay-Z opens the closet door
Kanye.
to
Jay-Z.
kiss Chris on the mouth.
Yep.
Because he's
Great, you guys summoned Diddy
Because he's
instead.
part of the Diddy tree.
Bro, you remember when Jim Carrey came out on the talk show and he was
Oh,
like,
he's all the all mocking tongue.
and they're like, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, you know.
Oh, dude, did you know that the laugh tracks they put on there were like fake? There weren't really people. So like that whole Jim Carrey
No
interview
way.
they did when they walked out and he was doing all that Illuminati shit, nobody was like really laughing. They put all that shit on afterwards to make it seem like, he was joking around, but like, yeah, there was a comment on that video. He was like, yeah, my uncle was there. And he said when he came out and started talking about that shit, everybody just went silent.
Damn.
So he was like exposing some shit, but he's just in there in the awkward tension, like,
Bro, so sick, bro. And the day of, dude, everyone.
he's like, you act like you don't know.
Everyone.
You act like you don't know what this means. That's what he says to Jimmy Kimmel.
I will say that
Yeah.
that seems to be a common practice, though, in terms of things that are provided in video feeds after the fact. One thing that I realized is that so when I went recently, we saw Gabriel Iglesias Fluffy live right here at the casino. One thing he said is that he was describing the difference between a show where he's taping a Netflix special and one where he's just kind of doing it like he was, there at the casino. And he said that some jokes that they practice out, something that land when they put things in the video. Like he was kind of breaking it down. Like he was saying that they add things in. So it is common practice to add jokes in if it's something that's being recorded, like if it's meant for distribution. But if it was something, I think you said like an interview, right? If it was something more in that direction, that is a little bit
Late
more.
night talk show.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely something they would just add enough tracks in for sure, just to make it seem, just to boost the ratings, making it seem like people are tuned in.
Illuminatis.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't add, or sorry, it doesn't help that case, because for altering it for any reason.
Yeah, right.
Da Vinci Code is one of those few movies that I was like really into as a kid.
Eyes Wide Shut talks about the Illuminati in Hollywood. It's a fucking Stanley Kubrick film. It's got Tom Cruise in it.
It's just Stanley Kubrick film.
Eyes wide shut.
Yeah.
We take my life, skimming and pig.
One beer.
My name's Woodawee Wiki.
I have one beer and I start talking like
Woodawee Wiki.
Wiki.
Are you ladies man 217?
RC5.
George, we got code 2319.
You're throwing out Disney references? Come on, man. We don't play that title shit in here.
Appealing to universal favor.
We're not gonna Disney adult shit here.
No, actually, I do references. Yeah.
I said,
Bro,
yeah.
Just the other day, we were over here talking about how saffron would make this. So don't tell me you don't fucking reference Disney.
Saffron would make this.
What is that flavor? It's like little zesty and electricity and
Lightning. Ratatouille.
lightning.
Dude, that whole movie is quotable.
Yeah, I love it.
It's like a got you dope.
I've seen that movie so many times, but I haven't seen it in so long. I kind of forgot it.
One can't get too familiar. You know?
I quote that like every other day.
He's like, what's another one?
Remy?
Oh, a symphony of gaggle.
How do you tell a good bread? Not by its taste, not by its the sound.
Symphony. He's like, oh, good bread.
We kill the bad with this stuff.
He's down.
Let's see.
Back
Chat, anybody got any favorite stoner movie references, Disney, or like young nostalgic references or anything?
Stoner movie?
I don't like stoner movies.
Just type in your favorite movie reference. We'll try to get it.
Yeah.
Type something.
Please.
Type shit. I'm not a Mac. I'm a Peterbilt.
Anybody, please let us know you're there.
No, what's going on tonight?
Wasn't this good?
It's good.
So, man, we got real sidetracked. So we never went over like our good experiences with set and setting. Like,
You're dialing it back?
we only went over the bad experiences.
Dialing it back?
Okay, so
sir?
good experiences
Full circle.
for getting high.
Yeah, like a good experience. Like whether you got high beforehand for an event, like because we went over ones that were underwhelming, so our ones where it worked out.
Okay, so one of my favorite experiences where I felt like this was definitely it was worth getting high before this. We had what's called during Mexican New Year, Aztec New Year. They have a sunrise ceremony where you get up, to watch the sunrise come over the hills in San Jose, right? And you're out there in the freezing cold before the sun hits, but then like, we took a, I think it was a bong rip before heading what?
I thought he did. I thought he was
A long rip before the sun.
Yeah, yeah. So we took a bong rip in the van before heading out to sunrise. It was super freezing. Hi, babe. Thank you for joining us. It was super freezing, and like I was like not about it, and I was so fucking high and freezing cold that I was like, nah, I don't like this. I don't want to be here. Like I just want to go back. But like everybody's in a fucking ceremony. There's fucking hundreds of people there, and you're like the one person that's gonna fucking dip out right now. There are children that are withstanding the cold better than me. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna fucking toughen it out. And by the time that the sun actually came in and I'm paying attention to the ceremony, I'm trying to get into it, right? And the first like little bit of ray of sun that actually hit me, like just started warming my entire body. And because it's like slowly coming up and then you just slowly feel like just and then it took not even a full 5 minutes for like the warmth of the sun to fully sink in. And like it was almost perfect because like it was foggy before all that. And then right as soon as the sun came over the hill, like it almost like the fog started to split. And it was
She was there with you?
yeah, she was there. Yeah. It was hella freezing. But quite a beautiful ceremony. And definitely something that
Beautiful.
for if you have any kind of indigenous roots, it's very powwow like setting.
Yeah. Sit me in that shit.
I can't join in.
Yeah, goddamn right you can.
Yeah, keep that.
Fuck.
You
You know what?
Go back to the. Get it, boys.
Kick his ass.
I was in a dress.
That's right. Yeah, she was in a dress. That's true.
Oh damn, that's even worse.
I mean, honestly, the best times that I got high were like the first couple times you ever get high, right? Yeah. There ain't nothing like getting high for the first time and watching The Grudge.
Oh, Grudge?
Yeah. Scary as fuck.
For Insidious, bro?
Yeah, laying down on the ground because my brother-in-law's shit was set up so like his TV was angled kind of. So we'd like throw pillows on the ground and lay on the ground and the TV would come out of the wall like this, so it'd be like looking up at it. And so we got high as fuck and watched The Grudge, me, him, and one of our friends, and we are just laying there high as fuck. The first time I ever got high, and I remember actually being scared while watching.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Bro, there is some unnecessary ones that are like when you lift open your bed sheets, the bitch is in there, like you can't get away from her. She's in your mirror.
Dude, The Grudge 2 at the end where she's in the hood of the girl's jacket in the hallway. She like thinks she's free when she's in the hallway. But she's got like a dark shadow in the hood of her jacket and she's got her hood on. And so the thing grabs her from the darkness of her fucking hood and like pulls her into the shadows. Yeah, dude, I was like, that's crazy.
She's gonna fucking die.
You were in a dress because it was a dress that we saw at like one of the vendors there the day before, and it was like a nice like Aztec looking dress, so that's why. It wasn't like any kind of like beating. It just had an Aztec pattern on the dress.
Azteca. Little Teca.
I also I haven't worn it in a bit, but there is an eclipse necklace that I wear that is like actual medicine pouch that I got the same trip that we got our dress.
Put your DMT in there.
Mescaline.
Hell yeah.
Which is mescaline.
I can't think about
Tell me like you really look forward to it. Something like God, it helped out. Or like paid off. Actually,
I don't know.
honestly, it was just it was like near when I first started smoking, but like I was in high school, one of the very first times like I smoked in the morning like by myself before school. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna smoke before school. It's more because I lived right behind, so I could walk there. And then I just was hanging out on the bleachers for a bit, and I just like bought like a half ounce off my buddy too, so I had like plenty of weed. Had on me, was still smoking. Saw a couple other people that I knew that would come up to smoke, and then after that, because they barely had enough for like one little small bowl between like four of them, so I was like, all right, yeah, like if you throw me a couple bucks or something, they're like, so instead it was like, oh, they bought me like food for the day. We also had skip school and just ended up going to the beach for the fucking day and actually paid off. It was probably one of the more chill times where I was like, you know what, smoking before school, it was real nice. I like this. She made your accent the essence.
How's that? We were gonna read that out.
She was like, maybe I shouldn't just hit that. It's okay, babe.
I wish we started reading it. That was really funny.
Um,
That's crazy though. Went to the beach.
Yeah.
Like,
We just stayed the whole day at the beach.
beach while high is nice.
And like yeah,
definitely.
we just kind of like dug out like a little pit for a little while and like kind of like sunk ourselves in so we could still like smoke here and there. We were like down when like no one was there because school was still in session and shit. It wasn't tourist season yet.
I like getting high and watching movies.
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
it was bad, she said.
What, a curse? How dare you?
The curse. Yeah, getting high and watching movies is one of my favorite experiences too.
Yeah.
I like getting high and doing shit.
One of the
Just
first
doing anything.
One of the first times my parents like went away and like I got to just stay home as a kid and like in high school. I nobody was home, so I skipped school today and but like a bunch of my friends over. I had a bunch of food that my parents left me for the entire like couple of days that they were gonna be out of town.
Soggy biscuit.
No, it was it was actually pretty decent food.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of like pizzas, like fucking chicken breast, shit like that. That I just had to pop in the oven, like breaded chicken that I can just pop in and shit. So I had all my friends just kind of stay over for a couple days, and we just kind of just did nothing but watch movies, hang out on the back deck to like smoke and just make a ton of like we blew through all the fucking.
As a high schooler, that's the shit.
The most recent movie I watched while high was Paddington in Peru. And I'm not gonna lie, that movie. Yeah, I was there with my family. If anything, that's
What'd you
the.
smoke?
Give me theirs too.
Hey, give me that.
Which one?
I was hitting the vape pen of the Georgia Pies from ABX, right? Live resin cartridge.
You're smoking Newports.
He was smoking pens and he said he was lit. What the?
Yeah, because I took in like 6 blinkers before walking in. She said it was a good movie, and then in the bathroom right before I took another 2.
Nice.
And I was
Bathroom
like,
blinks. Bro, every time I see Paddington, I'm always like, damn, a nice buttered, warm orange marmalade sandwich sounds pretty good.
yeah, I think for real. I actually looking at that, I was like, man, I want it.
Jelly's all
Like, fuck fire, Dean Myers.
Well, you're gonna touch jelly.
That's important. We cried. You cried.
Yeah, I did. Oh fuck yeah! I was like, Jesus Christ, I fucking hate this. Yeah, I was like,
I go watch Transformers so bad right now instead of Paddington.
no,
I watch shit blow up. Why am I in here watching this stupid bear?
I hated how much like they were just able to nail like family vibes is what it was. And I was just like,
Hey,
God damn
Hey,
it!
can I tell you something? Paddington's not real.
No, I didn't figure that out.
You had to touch it for it. Paddington's not real.
I didn't figure that out until the end of the movie. They said it was live action.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That's real life, man. Anyway.
I felt good. I wasn't.
Good. Like,
No, you just like when he cries. He's just like,
yeah,
if you're really like this though,
he's crying because he wants to go home and get the fuck out.
if you're really like this though, Margot, you're just like, if you're really like that and not like this, I'll be mad.
I go like this.
I hit it with the.
No, like I hit this. I hit it with the.
I try to keep it modest and humble. I'm like, it's hard. It's hard.
It's manly of me to cry like that in movies.
Paddington to Finding Nemo to Paddington to
Finding Nemo.
I don't know.
And the slow moment.
I thought you actually had a real list for a second.
When the song's pulling in, it's slow moment, and it's like the sad moment's happening. And everyone's just like, I was like,
I did cry in an extremely goofy movie when Max was mean to Goofy, bro. That shit pissed me off.
Yeah. Okay, I can admit that as a
You
kid.
remember that shit?
Yeah.
It was all sad.
That was actually real hard.
That shit
Oh,
like Max even that.
Yeah.
honestly, you know what?
Daddy issues.
What was still getting me
Daddy.
today? Fucking Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound was pretty
With-
sad.
Homeward Bound getting me to cry.
Yeah.
Especially like the very first movie, the ending, when like the kid thinks like, oh, Shadow's the only one who doesn't make it, and then you finally see him just fucking like
Crawl.
like limping his fucking old ass there, like after fighting the bear and shit, just like I'm still here.
Yeah, when in Nemo's when the mom dies, yeah, that's true. But in Homeward Bound, I'm not a big proprietor of being like, what's it called? Art and artist type shit.
Yeah.
But like, I still like Michael Jackson's music, but I don't think he did any of that stuff anyway.
What's that have to do with Homeward Bound?
Okay, no. Let me finish. There's a lot of allegations about animal abuse against Homeward Bound.
And
So,
I saw one movie.
oh wait,
I never heard about that.
That one movie
it's bad.
where
It's bad.
it's like
I was thinking-
but they're like,
Aristoc-
oh no,
Aristocats.
it was my girl. No, she was telling me there's a movie kind of like Homeward Bound where they used real life animals, but they like really drowned like cats and shit to like make this movie.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's like a popular like movie from like the 90s that everybody watched that has like the voiceover of like the animals and shit, where it's like Homeward Bound, where it's just somebody talking over the real life dog, like
No,
the
thank
dog
you.
shit.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Wait, Chris, there's more.
Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, see, Fox and the Hound is another one.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh, Bambi, like fucking Bambi all day, dude. I cried to Air Bud, which is the basketball dog movie, because one of the ones, I don't know which one, but it's one of the first ones. He's like having to ditch the dog for whatever reason, and he throws the basketball, and he's like, "Go, go! I don't want you anymore." And as a kid, I'm like,
Is Air Bud just Old Yeller
Iron
but
Giant.
basketball?
"Huh?"
Is Air Bud just Old Yeller but basketball?
I think so.
Iron Giant though.
The pig makes is that are you Charlotte's Web? Is that what she's talking about? Or is she talking about
There's Babe.
Babe?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
In the Big Blue City.
It's
that was a theme of like Felix.
Dude,
yeah. Any movie that has a parent dying or a parent like in distress or whatever, and the distress is in the relationship between parent and child. Yeah.
Babe in the Big Blue City. I haven't thought about that since I was like 6 years old. That's crazy.
What's it?
Pig movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big movie.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Charlotte's Web was the big movie too.
Was that real life?
Well,
Charlotte's Web was an animation.
Charlotte's Web is like yeah, that was an anime thing.
Yeah.
They never did live action.
Babe
was
Babe
live
was first live action. Yes.
Oh, I didn't
They're
know
real
that.
pig.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a real talking pig.
Yeah.
Fucking Marley and Me.
Oh my god!
Oh, where the dog waits every day.
Yo,
Oh shit!
just shout out the yeah, that got me.
The farm.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Probably the most recent of movies I've cried to though was honestly, it sounds weird, but there's two. One was the movie
The Human Centipede.
Yeah.
I cry.
No, the one with Strays where it's a bunch of like it's an animal movie, it's like a comedy, like kind of sad.
Kevin Hart.
No, Will Ferrell.
And Kevin Hart.
I think RG might be in it.
Yeah, he's plays like a smaller dog.
Yeah,
Will Ferrell too. Yeah.
There was both, but I was also like kind of
Hey, Chris, dogs can't really talk.
No, I was also still drunk when I watched it too, and I just like dogs.
Those dogs.
But then the other one was The new Clerks 3 movie. I don't know why. There was parts in it that, like, I don't know, I related to, like, things with the character a lot. Like, it did kind of start cutting deep at the end.
I like Clerks. I only seen the first
Yeah,
one.
the last one was, like, it kind of, like, had a moment where it cut real deep towards the end.
Was there a lot of excessive drinking?
No, I'm just kidding. On that one, no.
He takes a sip of beer. He's like, no.
What was your question? What?
Wasn't there something that was hitting deep, like hella close to home when we were listening to it, or something was referencing? We were like, God damn, oh my God. We were watching it on, I don't know, but we were both like, oh my God, that explains. Oh, it was the podcast thing when he was talking about the podcast. He was like, if your podcast is like this, or if your whatever you're doing is like this, then you're. We were both like, God damn, this is really what we are.
Yeah.
You're calling us out.
It was a podcast that yeah, so I'm gonna shout out Roberto Blake. He's a YouTube channel where he's the top YouTube channel on referencing how to teach other creators to grow their channels. And one of the podcast workshops that he had where he was going over how to improve your channel, he was saying he was listing a bunch of things. I'm not gonna say specifically what they are, but he was saying a bunch of things that if your channel is doing this, this, and this, and everything that he was saying was stuff that we had been doing or we hadn't improved on yet or stuff like that. And it was like it did kind of feel like he was calling us out in particular, right?
Yeah.
And then later on in that video, he was saying, "Oh, and if you next week I'm going to be doing creator channel reviews. So if you want in on channel reviews, go ahead and submit this, whatever, whatever." Right? And I was like, "Yeah, fucking right." Like, so he could fucking tear me apart. Like, hey, you weren't watching the last you didn't watch the last workshop where I went over this, this, and this, and I'll be like, "I'm trying. But that's why we got to get our 100,000 subscribers boots to the ground and go out there banging it, which we'll make plans for that.
Yo, that was a 100 emoji. Thanks for the 100 emoji. Oh, we got a rose coming in. Thanks for the rose. Ooh, thanks for the rose. Hit it with Glizzy. Ooh, Glizzy. Glizzy. Oh, John. Oh, thanks for the galaxy. Is that a ghost? Oh, thanks for the ghost. Spooky. Fucking yeah. Imagine having to do that shit. Thanks for the glizzy. Whoa, thanks for the 100 again. Oh, that's another 100. Oh, that's another 100. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Keep it 100.
We really appreciate it here down at Talking High Culture, where we keep everything real and high.
Celebration now.
Now, the party. Now, guys, let's talk about it, something even more higher. Our Lord and Savior.
Jesus Christ.
J-E-S-U-S. Street name Rice. Now, everyone, if you get together to join hands and sing Kumbaya, Maori. Sorry if that was a little loud. But we're just practicing because we're in a barbershop quartet that's going to take the world by storm. And it's called
Gold Star Casino Bowling League.
Yep, there we go. Thank you. Gold Star Casino Bowling League. We are a barbershop quartet that only sings, you guessed it. What do we sing, boys?
Aboriginal throat music.
Thank you. Aboriginal throat music.
She said she'll be praying for us.
Be praying for y'all. Say something, be like, hey, how's your day going? Be like, yeah, my day's going good. Be like, I'll pray for you. Be like, I'm doing great. You're like, that's cool. Be like, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, I got you.
You're in my thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Be like,
Let me stop what I'm doing right now.
yeah, exactly. Wait. Actually,
Lord,
I think you're in need of it at this very moment.
please give this person peace
Lord, oh Lord,
to deal with everything they need.
You're just walking out the store, you're like, and then Chris joins in out of nowhere. You're like, what's going on?
Jesus, my Lord, please let this man your strength.
I'm just coming back to work. I just got a drink and some pickles.
The spirit of the ghost.
They changed me. Work safety, this pickles, huh?
Hey, guys, I was like, what's going on?
Do you feel the spirit in that holy pickle?
I feel the spirit. I feel the spirit.
That's why I'm gonna take your forehead.
What's the one skit? This fucking guy. You're actually kind of good at that. I try hard to find. Should I get away? So sweet. Hand me on my ear. Yeah. I don't even know what I was singing right there. But
If you knew the reference, you knew the reference.
see the reference. Go look at THC's Instagram and look at
IYKYK.
I came with y'all. There's no saving you. There's no saving you.
It took me the longest time to figure out what the fuck that meant because I refused to Google it.
What?
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
IYKY.
Yeah. Because that was like newer for me.
IYKYK.
Yeah.
So like,
And I don't like to try and Google things like that. And then it took me a while before I figured out the context. And it kind of made me mad too. It made me feel so.
What else would it be?
I don't know.
What else would, if you know,
IYKYK stand for?
if kids.
I yearn knives. Yearning knives.
Mm.
Genius.
I eat knives, eating knives.
If you know, you knife.
If you kill,
you
kill.
You kill? You kill.
You kill to kill.
Your guardian angels are trying to kill you.
It's gone right now. Oh my God, if you're having a spiritual awakening while I'm in our THC
Yeah, I just want you to know that Jesus Christ died for all of our sins and we're all going to heaven.
well, he's going to keep dying again.
Jesus Christ died so we can all go to heaven regardless of our sins. So I can do whatever I want and basically just say sorry and get away with it.
Yeah.
So,
Because he's going to do it again next year
You
too.
don't say sorry. You
Zombie
ask to
Jesus
forgive.
Day.
ask for forgiveness.
Oh, we need one in.
It's zombie.
Can I have some forgiveness, please?
Zombie Jesus Day's coming up, boys. Make sure you get your forgiveness in.
Here's your forgiveness.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden.
There is Zombie Jesus Day.
Zombie Jesus.
And that's why we get a refresh every year at Easter. You didn't know that?
No, actually, he's right. For Catholics, if you actually follow through with
Day
the
of
whole,
resurrection.
well, for Catholics, if you actually follow through with the whole Lent thing, right? That's the whole idea is that you get a reset on all your sins.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're cleared for the past year.
That's right, man. You know, there was zombie. Well, the devil is the church's best friend. That's all I know. Because without him, y'all would be out of business.
Yeah, for sure.
Not necessarily.
No.
There are other
They
types
keep
of churches.
themselves. They keep themselves in business because what if technically
No.
they're the ones spreading the misinformation about teachings of, hell and shit. And he could be a prisoner down there, and ultimately his intentions could be. That's the whole conspiracy right there.
Devil.
Catholicism and Christianity is just a cover up for other religions that were actually factual.
That would have nothing about the devil.
Yeah, that's the thing is the devil
Exactly.
is
The
tended to
representation of evil.
There's a lot more teachings in the satanic that are actually more positive than the fucking Christian Bible.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it was written by sane people a lot
I
more
know,
recently than
I've read the Satanic Bible.
And also the Quran too. The Quran's been around before the fucking Christian Bible and Christian religion, and there's an actual physical fucking document of that shit.
Yeah.
Christian Bibles haven't been started written until well after a while, so all that shit's fucking.
Don't go down this rabbit hole, please.
You want King James version? Like which one? 3, 4, 2.5?
But even
Old Testament.
Old Testament. You want New Testament?
Even if
which
we take
version
away
of the New Testament?
even if you take away like Western religion, there are churches of Eastern religions that they're just not classified as churches. You know, you have things like Shinto houses. And,
Give me Sumerian text.
Yeah, that's it
I
right
don't
there.
read the Bible.
I always look like this.
Y'all need sage. That's what we're smoking on. What are you talking?
This is that's
And-
ash.
Go.
Ash ketchum.
There's a little carried away right there with that red.
It's ash ketchup.
Escape.
You're a fucking rapper.
Yeah.
Don't know rabbit hole.
Oh fuck.
Don't get me talking about.
Oh my God. What are your days off this
Tomorrow and today.
week?
How long did it?
LOL Logan. Don't LOL me, Melina.
His name's pronounced lotion.
Lotion.
LaShawn.
That's what they call him.
It's spelled lotion, but it's pronounced LaShawn.
Lashandra.
Chandra. His face was stuck for a second.
Oh, my face.
Yeah.
That usually happens when he gets real high. He'll have a moment or two where he just kind of gets stuck.
No, his face is just like that.
That's his real face. The
Yeah.
face that you talk to is
That's his relaxed face,
99%
actually.
of the time, it's not real.
Yeah, that's what he's like when he's real relaxed. Half the other time, he's actually forcing the other face. Like, God damn.
I think
Like
he's
right now, like he's putting a lot of effort into what he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, this isn't relaxed. This is not relaxed. So I'm trying so goddamn hard. And then when I'm super relaxed,
Yeah, somebody give me a chicken sandwich with some waffle fries. And
For free.
Oh, fucking introduce that to
Yes. Thanks so much for seeing.
fucking hungry.
you don't get the OG YouTube reference? You don't know nothing about Unforgivable, bro?
God damn.
Unforgivable. I took a piss at chicken sandwich.
Took her to silver ball.
Play
Play some video games.
some video.
Acted like she
Well,
was
that's
having a
a
good time. Said, I looked at the picture said, you ain't no nerd. Bitch, you ain't no nerd. I would. I don't know what you're gonna
You've seen it. You just don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's that black and white video
My
that
dick
black
sucking
guy-
in football.
Bitch, you ain't no nerd.
So,
Forgot my neck. He's all laughing and shit. He's like, unforgivable.
the second one. Fucking, bitch, I brought some DVDs over. I got Dr. Zhivago, Bridge on the River Kwai, A Lean Night.
A late night.
Fuck. I don't know any of those.
Because you're an idiot who's uncultured. We're elevated and intelligent. You are below us.
Yeah.
And we
It's just a specific time period.
When I left,
that they're more.
are AI.
when I left in the morning, I left a bag of cess in a mailbox. Get it so her parents are fine. Get her in trouble.
what the hell?
He did like a whole like series of videos. Like it was like 3 of them.
You're a series of videos.
I hate. Whoa. We are a series of.
I had a buddy in high school who ordered one of the shirts from his website and had to fucking give me a chicken sandwich and waffle fries for free. So
Anyway,
Closing shop at 9:30, boys.
closing shop at 9:30, boys. Tres Finitos. Chris, get a hit in before we close shop.
Yep.
let's get it. All right,
Taking our last hit.
what we got in store for him for the week, boys?
Is that Abraham Lincoln in the back? No, that's Willy Wonka.
Is it Slash?
It's Slash or Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
It's some guy.
A guy with glasses.
It's a guy with a.
Well, it's the Benz. It has to be. It's a Benz.
That's some fucking San Francisco.
Guy on the
70s
What?
psychedelic.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm good with that.
I'm good.
I don't want it. I don't want it. Don't give it to me. I don't want it. I want it.
All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna call it. We are
Out.
an hour and 30 in.
Until next week.
Till next week.
We're gonna call it for the first half of the podcast. Now starting for the second half of the podcast. We
Patreon.
Patreon. Thank you for joining us for that. Yes. Thank you for joining us on Talking High Culture. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join us here every Wednesday where we talk all things cannabis. Today we were talking about how setting affect your high and how it affected our highs. Let us know how it affected your high in the chat in the comment section below. And what was the word of the day? The word of the day is
Skibbity.
you heard it here first, folks. Skibbity was the word of the day.
Oh,
And nobody said it.
Don't get it twisted. Not skibby. Skib. Type that. Skib.
Skibbity.
Give it.
Skib.
Skibbity.
All right. Good night, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
Whatever.
Skibbity.
Hey, there seems to be
Get off camera, dude. I'm tired.